The charges against COP26 and the governments of the world.
Charges against COP26 and governments of the world.
Against COP26 and governments of the world.
The ever-worsening climate and ecological emergency is a crime against humanity.
Perpetrated by the rich and powerful against the poor and the vulnerable.
They have knowingly allowed fossil fuel emissions to take our planet to dangerous temperatures.
Fossil fuel companies have corrupted our politics,
our media and the COP process.
They have marginalised women, indigenous people and people of the global south to the extent that entire communities and ways of life are disappearing.
This is more than failure. It is indifference and cruelty.
They have allowed staggering inequality. Those most responsible for climate and environmental chaos refuse to fairly pay for the consequences on disadvantaged peoples.
They have allowed our water systems to be destabilised, enabling industry to destroy the oceans and fresh water for many millions to become scarce and polluted.
They have allowed climate change to bring food insecurity to millions of people.
They have allowed millions to be displaced by climate chaos and natural destruction. Climate refugees are the forgotten victims.
They have allowed spending on arms to outstrip spending on solutions, and they have created a brutal world where many face conflict over ravaged resources.
This is nothing less than moral bankruptcy.
We charge the world's most powerful government with mass manslaughter.
We charge
by
the world's
gross
most
negligence.
powerful governments with mass manslaughter
We
by
charge
gross negligence.
the world's most powerful governments with mass manslaughter by gross negligence.
COP26 is the next chapter in a story of broken promises, reckless greed and unbelievable failure that stretches all the way back to COP1 and the 1992 Rio Earth Summit. And prior to that, to the first UN Environment Conference in Stockholm, 49 years ago in 1972.
The COP process is systematically corrupted by vested interests. It only serves injustice and failure.
25 meetings since Rio have failed to prevent us heading for catastrophe as emissions continue to rise and ecosystem devastation continues apace.
We are facing a catastrophic climate and ecological emergency that could have been avoided if governments acted sooner.
Yet still, the main players at COP26, both government and business leaders, will present false accounting, greenwashed credentials and fake climate policies. They don't want to change a system that benefits their few. Not even if earth defenders are being killed, nature and wildlife are being destroyed, entire communities and ecosystems are being sacrificed.
Our politicians are fatally compromised. Despite their claims of climate leadership, the reality is that most countries, including the UK, have failed to implement policies consistent with 1.5 degrees or even 2 degrees. This is the opposite of building back better. This is a moral, greedy failure, and it's killing us.
This is immoral, greedy failure, and it's killing us. This is immoral, greedy failure, and it's killing us.
This is immoral, greedy failure, and it's killing us.
We charge the governments of the Western world, and in particular our government, which is the host for COP26, and our political class, with malfeasance and dereliction of duty.
We call on citizens to take back control and debar those responsible for 49 years of criminal neglect from ever holding public office again.
A government responsible for such an epic failure in its duty of care towards its citizens has no moral authority and must be replaced.
We call on all citizens to insist that a new government immediately institutes a programme of social change consistent with scientific advice on the state of the world ecosystem
and consistent with the moral duty for the United Kingdom to only consume a fair and sustainable share of the Earth's resources.
We call for a new system of governance based on reverence for nature as the source of all authority.
We call for a new system of governance based on the reverence for nature as the source of all authority.
We call for a new system of governance based on reverence for nature as the source of all authority.
We call for a new system of governance based on reverence for nature as the source of all authority.